everyone, it's me Catherine. Today I just want to discuss part 1 of Temeraire by Naomi Novik. If things go to plan, I should already have a spoiler preview for you to check out by the time this goes up, which I will link for you if you wish to do so, because this is going to be full of spoilers, so I don't recommend if you haven't read it. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about what we learn from the blurb first of all, because I had some expectations based on the blurb that although were met, also weren't. So first off, we find out that it's set during the Napoleonic Wars, so it's historical, which is grand. I love me some historical. We're introduced to our main character, Captain Will Lawrence, who has been at sea since he was just 12, and that he's made quite a future for himself. Then we find out that dragons are a thing in this. Dragons, which from the back it makes them out to be simply like sky horses. That's the picture I got from that, and while that's still true technically, it's also not. So when they find an egg on a friend's ship that they capture right at the very beginning, they find a dragon egg, and the dragonette, the little baby dragon, imprints itself on Lawrence, ruining his future, which again is true as such, but also not. So what we actually learn from here is that yes, they do ride dragons into battle, but the dragons can talk. Like, they have speech. And Temeraire, the name that Lawrence gives the dragon, can talk from almost from the moment he hatches. Like, he hatches, wanders around a bit, and then he talks without actually having to learn to speak, just says and asks Will why he's frowning. Just like that. Like, no, there's no learning, there's no learning, they just know how to speak. So how, like, is it something they absorb while they're in the egg? Is that how it happens? Like, provided that, so if an egg grew up in isolation, if an egg was hatched in isolation, or if there was no talking around the egg, would they still talk? I don't know. But because they can talk and things, you find out that it's less of a horse and its rider sort of thing, and more of a companion type relationship. Because obviously you can get to know these dragons, you can talk to them, have conversations with them, and Temeraire is very clever, and although the fact that Temeraire imprinting himself on Will means that he's had to give up his captain, which obviously he's a bit gutted about, because a life as a dragon flyer, aviator, do they call them aviators? So a life as an aviator is very secluded. It's not, I suppose, not as secure, in a sense, as what he's got himself now, because he can't have a family as an aviator, and which means that his lady friend that he's got back home isn't going to be too happy about that. And I mean, he's been on this. He said he's been at sea since he was just 12 years old. So this is basically most of what he's known. He's not raised to be an aviator, because as we learn, aviators are raised from children. Like, they are given to the cause as children and raised to be dragon flyers. Dragon riders. Riders would probably be more correct there. Dragon riders. And then we have Will, who gets I mean, it's not his fault that this has happened. Like, they've captured this friendship, as they should have done, and it just so happened that this friendship had an egg on it that was ready to hatch. And it's not Will's fault that the dragon took a liking to him. And although, yes, his current prospects are now ruined, he himself... He rises to the occasion. Like, at first he's bound by duty, so he did it because he knew it was what his country would expect of him. But Temeraire is, oh my god, I would already, like, the first part is less than 100 pages. It's 74 pages long, and already I would die for that dragon, because he's incredibly clever, incredibly curious and inquisitive, and just, like, it's hard not to love him. And Will, because he's taken his new position with I don't know, all the enthusiasm or whatever he can, like, he's doing it properly. So he makes sure he sleeps by Temeraire, and that he's being fed and things, and he's taking care of him, and then they go flying together. And just seeing the beginnings of this relationship, it is beautiful, and I love it so much. And if anything happens to either of them, I'm going to be devastated. I mean, even towards the end, when it seems that, because obviously once they get to land, and I mean, he's got this dragon, he has no idea, he doesn't have the first clue about being an aviator. He has no idea, so of course they have to get in touch and let them know, and then they come, and when it seems like, I mean, when they came and they'd fetched a rider to replace Will, I was like, oh no, you can't do that. But at the same time, it makes sense. Will isn't trained. This rider that they've got has been trained since he was a young child. So he's trained for this kind of thing. It just so happens that the rider they fetched is a prick, an absolute arsehole, and they tell Will that he can't see Temeraire again. They're gonna go tell Temeraire that he's got a new rider now, and he won't ever see Will again. And Will's just like, but he didn't get to say goodbye. He didn't get to let Temeraire know anything, because he was like, yeah, I'll walk you back, and they're like, no, it'll be best if you don't see him again. But Temeraire's waiting for him. Because he reads books, he reads stories to him, and Will reads stories to Temeraire, and Temeraire, he's just so curious about everything, and he's so excited when he finds that little shiny jewel thing that's not even that precious, but it's shiny and he likes it, so he fetched it to show Will. And then when he's swimming around in the water and Will gets in, and they mess around in the water together, and it's just so beautiful, and I love them so much. So when this dickhead shows up, I mean, to be the rider's a knobhead. The higher ranked guy that comes with him is, you know, very matter of fact, like, this is how we do things, this is for the best, it's the best for the dragon. And Will's like, yeah, fine, I suppose you are right. Temeraire deserves somebody who knows what they're doing. And then they get a message, and it's like, we need you to see you, Will, Temeraire, you know, and he shows up, it's like, has something gone wrong? It's like, no, Temeraire doesn't want another rider. So he goes out to see Temeraire, and Temeraire says, he told me that you didn't want to see me again, that you wanted to go on, well, let me see if I can find oh, that's it, here we go. So he goes out to see him, and he calls him, yes, my dear. I love them so much. Right. But, there we go. So, Temeraire curled both forelegs and wings around him and nuzzled him carefully. Lawrence stroked the sleek nose. He said you did not like dragons and that you wanted to be back on your ship, Temeraire said very low. He said you only flew with me out of duty. And while that's not exactly false about them flying with him out of duty, that's how it started, but... And then Lawrence went breathless with rage. If Deis, the knobhead rider, had been in front of him, he would have flown at the man barehanded and beaten him. He was lying, Temeraire, he said with difficulty. He was half choked by fury. Temeraire. And then at the very end of the chapter, if you would like to have your ship back, Temeraire said, I will let someone else ride me. Not him, because he says things that are not true, but I will not make you stay. Lawrence stood motionless for a moment, his hands still on Temeraire's head, with the dragon's warm breath curling around him. No, dear one, he said at last, softly, knowing it was only the truth. I would rather have you than any ship in the Navy. Oh my god! Oh, I would die for both of them. For both of them. And I think there's like 9 books in this, so hopefully they're a-okay throughout the rest of the series. But, like, if anything happens to either of them, I will be devastated. It will crush me. It will crush me. And that's basically what I've got to say about that, because, like, they are the best. The best. And I haven't even read the rest of it yet, which I will do. I will do. Hopefully, all being well, I'll be back after part 2 for another little discussion-y thing. But oh my god, Temeraire and Will. I planned to say clever things in this, but it turned into Temeraire. My precious Temeraire. Anyway, that is it for this video. I'm done. I'm finished before I just melt into a puddle. So, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye! Hi everyone, it's me, Catherine. Today I'm going to be talking some spoilers for Temeraire by Oh my god. For Temeraire by Naomi Novik. Oh my fucking hell. Naomi Novik, I can't pronounce her name.